Today's driving, I achieved 4.1 mile kilowatt hour. That's not bad. We are definitely going to have to rapid charge before we set off to Cardiff tomorrow. I think it's about a 5.5 hour journey. I'm looking forward to it in this. Good night, Kia. Okay, so I thought home charging would be alright. 1.3 kilowatt hour, whereas this is closer to 50. We'll give it a quick top up, so about 80%. So I expect by the end of this, we'll probably have about 230, something like that. Yet again, the simple Instavolt system. Connect, tap your card, press start, done. For some reason, the bays aren't particularly the biggest. Perfect for, say, an Austin Mini, but obviously it doesn't have an electric powertrain. But considering the Kia's hardly big, even if I've been another foot forward, I'm still sticking out about 2 foot. Done a quick top up whilst Mum and I did some shopping in Booths. Well, we left Carnforth with 236 miles and we've just got back in the drive and it's 234. Now it's 256 miles, which means technically we won't get there on that range, but it'll be intriguing to see get there. Also, if you remember the previous gen of Kia Niro, it was exceptionally good. It was one of those vehicles that when it said the range, it was mile for mile, so you could guarantee that you get that or more. Not a bad sized boot, to be honest. Look at this for a parcel shelf. Flexi flex. Mind you, saves weight. And yes, a power tailgate. Now we're just about to set off on our road trip. But first things first, it used to be called e-niro, so they've completely renamed it. The other thing is, this is now the second generation. It uses the previous powertrain, but apart from that, it's all new, including the interior, the exterior, and some of the tech's been advanced. And yes, in case you're wondering, this does have smart regeneration. Now you might be thinking, I don't really want a BEV. So with that in mind, Kia have thought, actually, why don't we offer a mild hybrid and a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle too? So there's 3 to choose from, and they go from 2, 3 to 4, and that's your trim. Now we've got the 4, meaning it's all singing and dancing. Heads-up display, heated rear seats. But the good thing is you get things like adaptive cruise control with stop-go across the full range. Now compared to the previous one, it's longer, it's wider, and it's even taller. And the wheelbase is longer too. The other thing is, most vehicles nowadays have to have some level of sustainability. Well, they use recycled materials throughout this, including the roof lining, and that's recycled wallpaper. And then the seats have a koala's favourite food, eucalyptus leaves. So yeah, I didn't quite expect that. And when you start looking a little deeper, you'll see there's a fair bit changed on the interior. Now you still get rotaries, so that's a good thing. But I don't want to give it all away. The price. Yeah, this one's around 42 grand, but they do start at around 38, and that's for the BEV. But without further ado, let's get behind the wheel and get on our road trip. Next stop, Cardiff, or maybe a quick charge somewhere. 234 miles, and currently we're getting 4.5 mile kilowatt hour. It'd be nice if that holds on the motorway. Anyway, without further ado, let's roll. You can hear the space agey type noise, can't you? Going
yeah. On the road again. Welcome aboard the Kia Niro EV, their new one. And we're travelling down to Cardiff. So in total distance, we've got 242 miles to travel. How much have we got in range, Benjamin?
We have 233 miles.
So that's eminently doable with some regen.
Yeah, I think if we hit some roadwork sections, slower sections, plus if you remember, it's not motorway all the way by any means, is it?
We chose a beautiful day to go down. Look at this weather. Proper autumn day.
Beware the frog.
Frog.
So at this time of the year, frogs start to wander out and essentially look for car wheels.
Did you notice then that my plug was a little bit more plug? Because they're on the road.
So I came around here before and there was a cyclist there and a motorbike here passing it.
Oh crikey, that's awful.
Everybody involved, including the cars behind, the car behind me and the cyclist, and I think there were some walkers as well, just looked alarmed. Oh look, a new Sportage.
Ooh.
No, that was actually a Niro. They're everywhere, which means people buy them. But I think it's this last year. The Niro and the Sportage are in the top 10 selling cars. So this has been closed for 5 days, and you can kind of tell why. If Annabelle looks left,
they've chop-a-noo-nooed.
Yeah, well, they've tried.
Yeah.
They've chiggled it, and
looks lovely.
Yeah, there's got a huge ridge here where...
Plus there's a branch sticking out when you go around the bend. Watch. Ah, there it is.
Oh. They haven't finished tidying up, have they, really?
They've not even swept it either, because normally you
No,
get
there's
bunches.
debris all over the road.
Yeah, I've been driving down here like...
Gingerly.
Yes.
Like
Just
what I
gingerly
is.
either. More like...
Wiggledy.
Move, bird! Ooh, nice and warm. It's tech loaded. Safety and convenience. Well, it's got pretty much everything it needs, including lane departure warning. And it will let you know if you cross that line. You get a beep beep and you'll get a in the wheel. But it's nice that you've got Overwatch. You've also got lane keep assist, adaptive cruise, AEB, collision detection, collision mitigation. But it doesn't seem to be quite as ferocious as the one in the Sportage. But I came down here the other day and there was a vehicle stopped, and it told me to stop, but it didn't do its normal I'm going to lock up and scare you after death. So that was nice. Oh look, it's sunny.
Ooh, nice colour too.
The biggest challenge you've got with this is the first Kia Niro was an amazing vehicle. The one thing that you could always say about it was when you had that range, you actually had that range. It wasn't going to drop 50 or 60 miles across, say, flat roads. And with this, it seems even better.
Mr. De Niro would be proud.
I'm going to start singing one of those, I'm looking for Mr. De Niro. Is that something like that?
Talking Italian?
There you go.
Is that the one? Yes.
Robert De Niro.
Yes. Good old Banana Rama. Well, it had to be good for an actor of that calibre to put his name to the car.
Oh.
Or to have his name put to the car, I should say.
Oh, of course, yeah. He was the advert guy for this, wasn't he?
Yep.
No, I hadn't connected that. So we're about to join the M6 and then we're on there for
A bit.
a bit. Yeah, let's say a
But
bit.
this time, we're going down south and we're not going on the toll.
That'll make a change.
It will.
That means no toll launches.
I know, I'm sorry. It's just, it takes
this
longer.
is rapid.
Yeah, it just takes longer and it's just, there's no point.
That was the regen stopping.
And then turn right.
So yes, you can adjust your regen with the paddles on the back of the steering wheel. Kia. He looks a bit young to be driving it.
Aye. You're getting younger and younger these days.
Heads up display. So yeah, tech loaded. Thing is, inside the cabin as well, there's quite a few changes.
Well, for the fact that the whole dash, cluster, infotainment screen, it's all integrated now.
It does look a bit EV6.
I mean, there's a clear demarcation between the two screens, which is nice. I also like the fact that you've got...
Demarcation.
Yes, demarcation. I like that. That was very well done. I also like the fact that you've got not only heated, you have ventilated seats. Perfect for summer or winter.
There's another another Kia behind Annabelle. Check the mirror.
Take the third.
So I have no clue what that's about. So yeah, there's the earlier gen. And you can tell just by looking at the rear, it's changed a fair bit. Yeah.
Sportento.
Oh dear. It's going on there.
Yeah.
You're
Get
kind
into
of in
your
my
lane.
line. All right.
Well, there is a line, so technically you could have like...
Line.
Line.
We will hit sport
Arge.
to get on to Dundee.
Esther.
Yeah.
Motorway.
So yes, join its motorways, racetracks, absolutely no problem. However,
Have you
that's not
noticed...
what we're doing this journey for, is it?
No. Have you noticed a blip have caused anything to the range?
Yes, it's dropped immensely.
Right, so we're going to have to even that out, which of course we will do.
Yeah, we'll put it back into eco now. And then
Excellent.
sit. So our aim is to travel at 71. So it dropped to 214. It's now gone up to 227, which I don't think is particularly bad travelling at
Well,
around
what's that?
70 miles an hour.
That's 12 miles difference in range in terms of actual...
I suppose it's not dropped that much for sport, has
No,
it?
exactly. Yeah,
What
so...
I'm going to have is not exceeding the speed limit, because at 70, very little tyre noise. And I don't think I can hear any wind noise, can
It's
you?
very refined in here. The seats are comfortable. A nice option as well is that you can adjust the height of your seatbelt so I'm not getting garroted.
Yeah.
Sunroof, okay, it's like a DD sunroof.
I was going to say, that reminds me of the Mark II.
But the previous one that we reviewed didn't have one.
No, so that's an addition, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, there was a little bit of wind blowing us then, and that's just completely mitigated it. too easy to speed in this.
Yes.
So, let's travel at... It's going to be hard to travel at 70 because the motorway seems to be travelling at a minimum of 80.
It'll be interesting to see
Well, it's
what that does.
travelling it's 70 miles an hour according to Waze and 73 according to the cluster. But we're now in charge travelling at 71.
And we've just gained another mile, so we now have an 8-mile gap.
So you can recoup on motorways travelling at motorway speed.
Woohoo! That's the question that everyone is going to ask.
Yeah.
So it is doable.
You know, we drove that Genesis the other day.
Yeah.
You've got your blind spot detection in your hood.
Oh, and we've got it in this as well?
Yes.
Fantastic.
So you get it's like a Wi-Fi signal, like but it illuminates red and it shows you where the vehicle is. So
Oh, that's
right
nice
quarter,
and handy.
rear, left quarter, etc., etc.
The camera technology has come on in leaps and bounds recently, hasn't it?
Yeah, plus they just advance these year in, year out,
Yeah.
don't they?
How many cars there are on the road and the motorways now? Now that we're out of lockdown and we're all back into full swing,
Yeah.
it's a welcome addition. It's just that higher level of Overwatch that I particularly love about the brand.
Considering we're on an incline, it's only dropped 1 to 2 miles travelling at 70.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Well, we've still got a 9-mile, it's only a 9-mile gap.
So it's actually closing.
Yeah. And when you're in Apple CarPlay, it's nice and easy to come out and go back to the navigation screen. I'll show you. There it is. So we've got Waze on because we generally use that, but if you press this and again go to Kia, it takes you back to the main screen. That's nice and detailed. Hang on, there's a fan on. Let's turn that off.
Ooh, you've just turned that off and it's gone up 7 miles on range.
Wow, a speed trap.
No, that is the right place to put them. You
Yes.
do not want to be speeding. Roadwork sections is where people work, isn't it? So it makes perfect sense.
To keep it as safe as possible. Yeah.
Let's drop down to 50 once again.
Average speed checks.
Then we'll give you a bit of an update on how we've seen the range acting, acceleration, recuperation, smart recuperation, etc., etc. So bear with us. We're going to be travelling at 54. So we've entered the traffic zone with 193 miles to go and 180 miles of range. So you look around and you think, where are the road workers? Oh, well, that answers it. No, you just saw an actual personalised sign, didn't you?
Yes, it said, you may not see us, we're working overnight.
We've come to the end of the roadwork section.
Exiting
Now, interestingly, we've not recouped as much as we thought we would. But that's what we found about the Niro last time. It literally says what it's going to do and it doesn't really deviate. So, randomly, if you travel at 65, 70 or 55, weirdly it doesn't seem to make much difference, which I never thought I'd say. And I was testing various levels of regen. So I started with, say, a medium regen. It gave me a bit of braking. And then I went for a lighter one so I could coast, and that's when we saw, well, the most range increase, wasn't it?
Yeah. Thing is, it is practically giving us mile for mile at this speed, isn't it, on these conditions?
That's what staggers me, yeah.
Which is brilliant,
Around
absolutely
70
brilliant.
is mile for mile, if not maybe 1.1, 1.2.
It just takes away that level of anxiety knowing that you are pretty much getting mile for mile.
You don't get
know
range
that's what,
anxiety,
exactly.
do you? You
know
never
what,
got it in the previous
exactly.
gen.
You know what your gap is, which means you plan accordingly.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
That's it. I'd rather travel at 70 miles an hour and know that that gap's going to fluctuate between, what was it, 10 and 14 miles
9.
discrepancy?
No, I think at a push it was between 8 and 13.
Okay, so that's not bad. And that's if you even creep up over motorway speeds.
Well, sometimes if you're overtaking, you're going to need to, aren't you?
Yeah, plus sometimes you just look down and think, oh, because you're following the flow of traffic.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Safety doing its job. You can hear a little bit of wind noise. Not surprising if you look right.
But you might hear a little bit, you can't feel it though.
No? No, well, I can feel the lane keep assist mitigating it ever so slightly. Every time it goes one way, it just pulls it back. But it's not surprising. This is what we get to see from Kia day in, day out with their models, isn't it? We treat so many of their vehicles.
Very nice.
Yeah, I was going to say the design language is, should we say, rather similar,
Yes.
especially at the rear.
So I reckon we plan using sat map. where we can stop and charge and take a quick comfort break.
Yep.
And blip up what we need in terms of range to cover our journey.
Exactly. We'll need another, what, 10-15 mile of
Yeah.
that.
So I'm going to sign off now and go and do a route map check.
Oh, here's the Rexton.
Oh.
Beast.
Yeah.
Now, we find this the best solution. You basically highlight a few chargers and then you check them. And then if you're lucky enough to go in and it's empty, then you do your charge there, as opposed to doing it, say, 10 or 30 mile on, where you could actually be in a queue. So it's actually worked for us. So that's good. Let's charge.
Yeah, that's it. We always try and at least come up with one or two alternatives, don't we?
We do. Just make sure these are out of the way and ta-da.
Present card.
And there we go.
In case you're wondering why we park like this, there was a vehicle next to us. But as long as you've still got access to the other CCS, it shouldn't be a problem. So dual chargers, and weirdly, this is actually more cost effective than charging at booths. Never expected that. So here's the Audi R8 styling, and yes, you can change the colour of this panel.
But it could be a nice Planet Auto orange, couldn't it?
Well, it'd be interesting to see what colours they offer. So at a glance we can see the remaining time is 1 hour 46. We've got 44% and 45 minutes. It's charging at 45 kilowatts. That's not bad. So the max on this is around 50. But you'll notice a lot of them are now closer to, is it 120?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. 1 hour 43 to 100% and 42 minutes to 80%.
Oh.
So that extra 20%, which you don't really charge to on a rapid anyway, takes an extra hour.
Wow.
So it shows you how much it drops. So our advice on this is charge 10 to 80%, and then you'll get the maximum out of the machine.
We've just had a quick charge. It's given us a buffer of 30 miles. Plenty to get down to Cardiff without having to worry about range anxiety. Listen to that roar.
Interesting number plate. A Teca FR with the number plate X-Box. Southwest and South Wales. Droidwich. These are not the droids we're looking for. Let's face it, not everybody sticks on the roads in the UK. They go to, say, autobahns. And you're probably wondering what it's like at, say, 75, 80 miles an hour. Well, yeah, you won't be getting mile for a mile, but surprisingly, of what we've seen and read, deduced from various reviews, etc., it doesn't actually guzzle as much as you'd think it would, doing those speeds. Oh my word!
Gosh, it's a bit of a beast, that.
Yeah, I drove one of those, was it 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
In Cotswolds. And they got some serious engine powers, those things. Oh, we're off the M5.
Getting close.
It's amazing what this vehicle detects.
This one.
There, yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that where water comes from?
Some very tasty water, yes.
Water relief. Lovely section of road, this.
In 1 mile. At the roundabout.
Very picturesque, isn't it?
Beautiful. And what Ben's been waiting for? Bilingual signs.
Yes. This is where you drop a gear. But now you're in an electric car, so you hear everybody.
Oh, it's been such an easy breeze to just drive down, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. No, it's an enjoyable SUV.
You can now see more of that mood lighting that Ben was talking about earlier on.
Yeah, it's rather nice. I love the little touches like that. Everything else is illuminated across the cabin. I mean, the cluster's straightforward to see. You can see everything you need. Same with down here. Your rotary for selecting your gear.
Yeah, we're about 20 odd miles from Llantress and Cardiff, so we must be coming up to the borders of that now.
These lights are good, aren't they? Low beam.
Yeah, they're very good.
So LED, automatic, high beam assist. And it's easily operated. Everything's nice and easy to reach, isn't it? It's not angled towards the driver. Newport.
Yeah. so towards Cardiff now, so stay in this lane.
Now you're in Cardiff. I'm glad you've got regen in this, and the fact that you can adjust it with the paddles, because it means when I'm in traffic like this, I can just back off and it'll just brake nicely. But you can do essentially one pedal drive, and if you put it into sport, it gets far weightier.
And even with some differences in the speed of driving that you've been doing, we've managed to keep over our 30-mile buffer, which is what we wanted to do. It's been done easily, and there's been no range anxiety at all.
No,
None to speak of.
it's-
Glass tunnel.
Ooh. Illuminated. Look at that, right.
At the roundabout.
Yeah, that's the bay.
It's getting more and more industrious. Lights. And
Yeah.
Precisely.
there are cars.
All the way over the other side of it. Yeah, we're right by it. We're literally right behind the Millennium Centre.
Cardiff Bay, Q Park, and Premier Inn. We've got disabled spots, so we're sorted. That was an interesting journey, wasn't it?
Yeah, but very smooth.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So 41 miles of range left. So we've still got the 40-mile buffer, haven't we?
Yes, but what this does here, it gives you your percentage of what you've got left and tells you how far you need to go to find another recharge.
Vehicle to load. So you can run coffee machines, hotels, etc., etc.
Right, let's unload.
This is one almighty Premier Inn, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've got a plus room. Yeah, it's a little bit of a break as well as a road trip.
Makes a change, Annabelle, doesn't it? Being in someone else's car.
Yes.
So we're heading into town now, so that'll be interesting.
Nothing like being on an adventure in Cardiff and not behind the wheel either.